High street banks are in a crisis as around 250 branches across the UK are set to close or have already shut their door this year. January this year has seen 12 major outlets close across Britain, with another 38 set to be gone by the end of February. An interactive map below can help you see if your local bank is set to close this year or in 2025. You just need to type in your postcode, with 92 lost in Scotland so far. In total, 245 banks are due to close in 2024, with another 6 also to shut with no confirmed closure date. Looking to next year, 15 closures have been announced in 2025, the Mirror reports. You can see which banks are closing or have closed in your area using our interactive map. Impending closures are to leave some communities with no branch alternatives, but it is likely that even more closures will be announced. This is likely the result of companies focusing on online services, but charity leaders have expressed concerns that this could exclude certain people with little tech literacy. Since February 2022, when a voluntary agreement saw the major banking groups commit to assessing the impact of every closure, 1,325 banks have either shut or announced their intention to close. That's an average of 55 closures announced every month, or almost 2 per day. The Link initiative to assess the impact of closures, which was agreed by all the major banks including Barclays, HSBC, NatWest, Lloyds, and Halifax, was set up to ensure vulnerable customers and small businesses were not left behind in the switch to cashless payments and virtual banking. When closures leave communities without any local bank, banking hubs or free ATMs are set up to fill the gap. The wave of closures has affected every part of the UK, with a total of 1,107 lost in England alone, plus another 92 in Scotland, 83 in Wales, 42 in Northern Ireland, and 1 in the Isle of Wight. Around a quarter of those closures, 356, or 27%, have left the surrounding community with no branch of any bank nearby. The charity Age UK has called for branch closures to be put on hold until more banking hubs have opened in areas with no alternative services. Caroline Abrahams, charity director for Age UK, said, "The continuing avalanche of bank branch closures means that by the end of this year there will be considerably fewer opportunities for face-to-face banking than there were even just a couple of years ago." Older people living in rural and semi-rural areas are likely to be the hardest hit, but those in towns and cities are not immune. Our research found that more than 4 million older people with a bank account in Britain are not managing their money online and so are at high risk of digital exclusion. Age UK is calling for the protection of physical banking services for those who do not, or cannot bank online, and for the accelerated rollout of shared banking hubs in areas where bank branches are fast withering away. We applaud the banks for coming together to set up shared hubs, but it's important that alternative services are set up speedily, especially in those areas with the greatest need. The disappearance of face-to-face banking risks cutting a significant minority of the older population out of an essential service, making it difficult if not impossible for them to manage their money and maintain their independence. Chris Ashton, head of banking at Link, said, "Despite the fact that more people are banking and shopping online, meaning they're not visiting ATMs or bank branches as often as they used to, our data shows that over 70% of people still used cash in the last 2 weeks. We assess each and every bank closure as it's critical that we're able to provide free access to cash and face-to-face banking services in communities across the UK." Since 2021, We have recommended 106 new banking hubs which will help bring life back to the high street and ensure that communities can still access cash and basic banking services locally. Join the Daily Records WhatsApp community here and get the latest news sent straight to your messages.